To experience what it feels like to be an adult, a boy trapped his parents and sister in a pit in the woods. To prevent family and friends from discovering their whereabouts, John picked up his parents' phones and imitated their voices to decline all invitations. Next, he took his dad's luxury car out for a spin, feeling the thrill of driving for the first time. He then drove to town and withdrew $50,000 using his father's bank card to fund his upcoming leisure activities. For the foreseeable future, he planned to fully enjoy all the pleasures of being a grown-up. However, his mother's friend came knocking just 3 days later. John was prepared for this. He lied, claiming his grandfather had unfortunately passed away a few days ago, and his parents had taken his sister back to their hometown to prepare for the funeral. They wouldn't be back anytime soon. He also mentioned he had to stay behind for tutoring and would be home alone. The woman didn't suspect a thing, and John successfully sent her away. Only after getting rid of his mother's friend did he remember his family in the pit. John approached apprehensively. Faced with his parents' questions, he remained silent. He casually tossed the fried chicken he brought into the hole, ignoring his parents' anger as he left the forest. Back home, John began living a carefree life. Meanwhile, the 3 people in the pit were racking their brains trying to climb out, but their efforts were in vain as the pit was too deep. John's hungry sister wanted to eat the food he had thrown down, but their father stopped her. He considered it to be John's handout and didn't want to accept it. However, hunger eventually trumped pride, and they had no choice but to pick up the food to curb their hunger. At this moment, John was leisurely playing the piano at home, completely indifferent to the heavy rain outside. In contrast to John's current comfort, the 3 in the pit were suffering from the cold and dampness, as the pit wasn't fully covered and the downpour had soaked them to the bone. The next day, John finally remembered his family in the pit. To prevent them from freezing to death, he kindly brought them clothing and blankets. His mother begged John to let them out, but John remained silent. He dropped off the items and left. Back home, John invited friends over again to have fun. In his view, a life without adult supervision or academic worries was the ideal adult world. Immersed in enjoyment, John had long forgotten about his family in the pit. His mother was so hungry she started gnawing on moldy banana peels. However, on this day, his mother's friend came again. This time, he invited her in, wanting to learn more about adult socializing. But as soon as his mother's friend entered, she sensed something was off. The house was a mess, as if it had been ransacked, and John's parents were nowhere to be found. A terrible thought flashed through her mind.